Hello, everybody. Brett Okamoto from ESPN, joined today by UFC bantamweight Aljamain Sterling. And Aljamain, I'll get to that first question right off the bat. I was thinking about how I was going to introduce you, and I wasn't sure if you would want me to introduce you as UFC bantamweight champion or UFC bantamweight. So I kept it at bantamweight. But you tell me. I mean, should I be calling you the champion as you officially are?
You're the first one who actually did that, so I appreciate that. Yeah, everyone's called me a champ, and it's just something I even in the streets, and I'm just like, I don't even know how to take this, man. I can't really like, yeah, no, I can't do that, So I I leave it up to the person, So I'm not I am, but I don't feel like it, I am the champ, but I don't feel like the champ.
I want to get to the fight and what happened in the fight, obviously. But first thing I want to ask you is just about the last few days. I got to imagine they're unlike any really few days that anybody's had in this sport because this is the first time this has ever happened when it comes to a title fight. And then you have people around you, who come out and they want to celebrate what happened, and then you got people who are coming at you, I'm sure, on social media that are telling you that you're the worst person ever for what happened. So what has this been like for you these last few days trying to make sense of it in your own head?
It's bizarre because the people who are upset about it are acting as if I did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And then if I say that, then it's, well, you shouldn't be celebrating. Well, I'm like, well, I'm not celebrating. My friends are celebrating that they're here with me right now and they want me to enjoy the moment. I'm sorry that that offends people. And, I don't want to celebrate it in terms of holding the bell and doing all this stuff. I'm not doing that, but, I don't mind taking a few pictures with my friends if that's what they want. If that's going to make them feel like whatever, they're telling me I'm the champ, but I still feel like I need to get back in there and do things over to really figure this out. So that's where I'm at right now. I can't fault my friends for being excited and wanting to take a picture. I technically made history on someone's mistake and disqualification. Rules are there for a reason. And I'm not saying I should have won the belt from a disqualification, but I don't think he should be able to keep it either. So if the guy, how do you become a world champion and not know the rules? How do you not be able to keep a frame on your opponent, step and look around? The excuses for why he did it makes no sense. You ask your corner, one's telling you only punches, the other one tells you to kick. That there's not. I think as the fighter, you should be educated enough and have as a UFC champion, you should be educated enough to assess a situation and know whether to step back and let the guy up, or if you feel that you can't throw the knee yet, keep the frame on and wait for the guy to come up. It's not that hard. If you can't make anything, if you can't tell the situation, then why do it? It's like, I don't know. It's like stealing the candy and then asking for forgiveness later. It's unfortunate because this was not just, it's combat sports, man, and a shot like that can really change a career. And I really just pray to God it doesn't alter my career. I really do hope. And I'm very cautious of how I come back. And I was doped up on morphine in the hospital when I texted Dana and said I want to run back the rematch ASAP. I'm in shape still. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry I let you down, and I just want to do this ASAP. And I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and clearly, I ended up throwing up later that night as well. And I didn't even get to drink that night, which I was pretty bummed about that because after a long training camp, the only thing I want to do is just have a nice cold drink and relax and have a good time with the people that come out to see me. That's I went from being the kid who can't wait to fight and then go party and go crazy. Now I'm like, yeah, I just want to fight, do my job, chill out with everyone that I love and everyone that came out to support me. Simple man.
We kind of went through some of it, but I was going to ask you, we last time, most of us saw you sort of live was in that interview setting with Joe, and then they said, we got to get you out of here. We're going to take you to the hospital. So just kind of briefly, I mean, obviously you don't got to give me like a step-by-step of what you've been up to over the last 72 hours, but can you kind of take me through like what has happened in your life since we lost track of you?
Um, to be honest, I don't remember the interview. I remember asking to do the interview because I was so sad and I just wanted to apologize to my friends and family and the fans. you know, that's what I wanted. And I remember sitting in the chair and I don't remember anything. I think I was babbling and I couldn't tell you like what I actually said. Like I would have to go back and watch it to even remember, to try to like piece together the puzzle, you know. So I had a couple of blank spots, and since then, yesterday we actually went out, toured the town a little bit, went to the Venetian, did the gondola, just give my fiance some quality time. You know, this is 2 training camps back to back, and I left her twice now, and you know, it needs some, you know, it needs to decompress, man. It's been a long training camp, and finally had the fight. It went that way. It was exciting. You know, people were having a good time watching it, whether they think I was getting my ass kicked. I was definitely starting to get my ass kicked pretty decisively, but it was close statistically in terms of the numbers and in terms of how I felt. What I was landing might not have been the most impactful because I never throw my punches hard, but in terms of the volume, I was putting up numbers versus him and the power. You know, so you can say the power shots versus the volume. I get that, but I was still in that fight, you know, and I landed two good head kicks right before the failed takedown attempt, right into the knee. And just to go back to what you said, because I know I just went off on a little bit of a thing, but yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. I didn't get to drink Saturday night. I didn't drink Sunday. Yesterday was the only time I really got to actually unwind and hang out with everybody. But I can't go crazy because I don't really know what's going on up here, and I don't want to do long-term damage, you know.
Physically, you're feeling okay?
Like physically, my body, my muscles, like I feel good. Like I don't feel as beat up as I did in the Pedro Munoz fight. Like that was the worst one. Like that fight, I was pissing blood and really sore. I was on crutches from all the leg kicks and checking kicks. Um, my ribs hurt from all the body shots, and my face hurt a lot more than it does. Like my head hurt, obviously, just a little, you know, a little pressure from that, but from the knee and whatnot. But Pedro hits pretty freaking hard, and he connected quite a few times in that fight. I do remember that fight not being that fun in the aftermath of going to the hospital. I was just like, yo, this is why I don't envy those guys who do the Poirier hooker fights. I don't envy those guys at all. I don't want to be that guy. You can have those fighting nights. Keep them very far away from me. It hurts, man. This is a very tough sport, and that's what my past few days have been like. So I'm just glad physically my body feels overall good. I'm just trying to take care of my neck now because this issue has just been driving me nuts for the past however long. It's been since years now at this point.
Can you give me an idea of what your DMs look like over the last 72 hours?
I don't even look. It's not even worth it. Like if I get something, like if I go on to post something or just want to check something real quick, I'll just go look for giggles and I'll click all requests and I'll just scroll up a few times. Like, yeah, no, I'm good. I just get out of there. Just get out of there. You don't need to. I don't need to deal with that, man. It's too much.
Is it tough? I mean, I'm sure it's just human nature. Like even if you know it's all or most of it is probably hate in there. I mean, do you want to look at it, and is it hard not to allow some of it to kind of, you know, work its way into you?
No, of course. You know, I if anyone knows me, like my fans, they know I'm one of the most transparent guys on social media in terms of an athlete or celebrity, whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't even like using that word for myself, but I express a lot, and I'm almost like an open book about my life, you know. So I think a lot of people appreciate that because I could be so vulnerable and sharing my experiences with stuff, and you know, I like to engage with the fans, you know. So for me not to be able to do that right now, if I do open it and I see something that looks like a good message or something worth reading, like from the few words that I see in the transcript, then maybe I'll open it and maybe I'll respond. And I can't do that all the time, but if I do, you know, I'll do that and drop something back to somebody, and or I'll just like it and show that at least, you know, I read it, kind of thing. And I enjoy social media, so I try not to let that. I'm not gonna let that take away from my experience, you know. So I can just not look. You know, I still have the power to do that and control what I actually consume and put in my head.
Yeah. The only thing else I would ask about before we get to the fight itself is, you know, you mentioned that a lot of your friends and family, they want to take photos with you and all that. I wanted to ask you why, and I think in some ways it's been them, right? They've been posting them and they're proud of what you've done. But were you kind of aware, or did you think about like, if I start to put it out there and I start to put these photos, of the belt around my shoulder, that's going to open the floodgates to a lot of people saying that I'm celebrating this title. Did you think about that beforehand, or was that like a surprise to you? Like, what was your idea about actually putting those photos out into the public?
Well, I can't tell my friends not to post stuff. I can't tell all 30 plus people in my house, hey man, we can take pictures, but please don't post anything. I'm like, then oops, my bad, so I can't do that. I don't have that type of control. I mean, people might think it's that easy, but you post one thing, someone screenshots it, and that's that. It's a wrap at that point, so I did think that if pictures went out, people might look at it and say I was celebrating, but I think someone did mention that, I think, and I said, like, I'm not posting. I said just like that, like, I'm not posting anything because this is unsettled business. The belt's there, and no one has it right now, and we need to settle this. And that's the way I kind of look at this in my head. Like, yeah, I did win by disqualification, so via the rules that are actually in place, I technically won. But do I feel like I won? I mean, it's a fist fight. It's not like playing basketball and you're like, oh, the guy, it's not the same. This is an altercation. This is a fist fight with some bad blood behind it that needs to be settled. And I don't feel like it was settled yet for anyone to be parading around like they are the champ or not the champ. So this is just, for me, this is just the belt of unsettled business, and eventually we'll get to take care of it.
The knee itself, and then in the immediate aftermath of it, I know that you're aware because you actually, tweeted a little bit about it, that, a lot of people think or say that you were exaggerating how hurt you were, or, that you were acting, whatever the case is that they want to say. Can you can you just walk through like your perspective once you got hit with that knee? What's going on? What are you feeling? And what is sort of like the thought process throughout, what happened over the next 5 minutes?
On impact, big bright flash of white light. I go down. I think I remember holding my head. I think I checked for blood. I really don't know or not. I don't really remember what Mark was saying to me. I do remember saying how much time is left. I knew I was disoriented. The room was a little, I don't want to say like, wasn't like, it was like a little blurry in terms of the vision, but it was only for a few seconds. I did feel like a cloud, and it wasn't like spinning like uncontrollably, but it was definitely like a, ooh, I felt like I just been smacked with something. I didn't even know that I got hit with the knee. Like, I had to just assume it was the knee. When I went down, I just knew I got hit. I didn't see it. It just completely blindsided me. It's like walking down the street, chilling, and then someone just whacks you. I'm kind of relaxing in this position, trying to breathe. All right, I got to assess the situation. I got to get up smart so I don't get kneed in the head. Boom, I got kneed in the head anyway. So that it just kind of just caught me off guard and out of the blue. And while I'm down there, I was trying to stand up because I was in my head, the emotions that were going through was, I worked so hard to get to this title shot. This fight's going to turn to a no contest. And because the fourth round was starting to go Petr Yan's way, I think Dana White's just going to skip over me and give the title shot to somebody, the next title shot to somebody else. And that broke me inside. That's what made me start to shed a few tears, because I was just so distraught. Like, dude, I can't believe after all the hoops I had to jump through to get here, and then to have it end like this is just, I was like, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, just how much time do I have left? Please just drag this out. Let me get my 5 minutes. Bring in the doctor. Let me just try to take as long as I possibly need. And was this the right decision, the right way of thinking? Probably not. But in my head, I'm thinking like, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. I do think I'm up around, not up around. I won 1 round, and I could potentially be up 2, but I still thought I was down 2 rounds. And going into that 4th round, I knew I was losing that round. I knew I needed a big 5th round in order to win that fight, in terms of a stoppage. And I was willing to just try to push through. And I knew the risk of me taking way more damage, being compromised as it was. But these are all the thoughts going through my head all at once. The doctor comes in. I think Mark told me to lay down. So when I lay down, everything started to calm down a little bit more, because it's like the higher, I don't know if you ever been hit to the head and or anything like that, but the higher you sit up, it's almost like cutting weight. Like when you cut weight and you lay down, you feel fine. But when you're so dehydrated, as soon as you stand up, you feel like everything just drains. Like it's just a big rush to your head and you feel lightheaded, like you're about to just collapse. And that's how it kind of felt when I sat up and I was like, yo, I need to lay down. So I laid down. Lights were super bright in my eyes. That was messing me up and kind of like causing some irritation. And then I think that's why I was, if someone was saying you were blinking uncontrollably and like selling it, I was like, I was blinking because there must have been a reason. I'm pretty sure it was probably the lights. Those lights are extremely bright. I was like, dang, I can see why this messes people up when you're waking up and you're seeing the lights and you're kind of like coming to and you're like, oh shit. But yeah, when the doctor came in, it was just a whole lot of emotion and a whole lot of like processing I was trying to do. And the main concern for me was like, damn, man, I don't want to have to try to fight through another gauntlet of 3 or 4 fights to get back to this position. And if I gotta just take my ass kicking like a man, I will, just to just say I finished the fight. I didn't think I was going to get finished, but there was a good chance I probably was, if I'm being completely honest. In my head, I'm going to tell myself I'm not getting finished, but in my head, and I mean, if I'm being completely honest, in the state that I was after being kneed like that, there's probably more than likely that I was going to be done in that fight.
So what do you want to do now, Aljamain? You said that you texted Dana when you know, you were in the hospital and you were saying, let's run this back as soon as possible. What do you think is the next step that makes the most sense after all this?
Well, first and foremost, my health. I'm gonna make sure I don't get like what's the thing, like, you know, like TJ Grant and Chris Holdsworth, you know, and all the other countless people that are athletes that have been impacted by concussions, man. And you know, this is my third one that's like a big one in terms of the impact. You know, I've had one where I had no symptoms, the Marlon Moraes knee. I had the one with Zabit, and I had vertigo for weeks. And then now this one. And I had one in college too from a wrestling match where I just blacked out and I didn't have any symptoms after that. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then this one, you know, I don't know, you know, I'm just hoping I don't have no crazy side effects, because this could really be career altering in terms of my ability to absorb strikes. You know, people saw me eat Jan's best strikes and still keep coming forward. They could say he was kicking my ass. Yeah, he was kicking my ass in the fourth round, like completely kicking my ass in the fourth round, even though I still landed a couple good strikes, the head kick, a couple combinations, digging to the body and whatnot, chopping down his legs, but still I ate big shots from him. So yeah, he was kicking my ass that fourth round pretty decisively. But that ability for me to do that, because I was in such great shape and because I don't take a lot of trauma in fights or in sparring, that gets compromised because of a shot like that, you know. And I just don't want my career to be altered because of that. You know, I don't want to get jabbed in the face and then my eyes are rolling in the back of my head. That's for me, if that happens, you know, I'm just going to be done. You know, if I can't just, I want to have kids and I want to be able to play with them. Jan's a father of 2 boys, I think, if I remember correctly. So I'm sure he understands that sentiment. And as much as I want to run the rematch back ASAP, I gotta do what's right for me, and make sure I'm just being smart about it, taking time, taking the UFC's advice, the doctor's advice, and when I feel good and feel ready to go, the rematch will happen and we will settle this.
So you had doesn't sound like it, so this might be just a quick no answer, but so you have no idea, just kind of like the time frame it would even take to just sort of assess your health. Like how long do you think even that process takes? Does it require time because you got to see like how your body responds to more time, or is it something that could, like, how long do you think it takes to adequately assess that?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a doctor. I mean, for concussions, the little bit that I do know, it's different for everybody, just like how COVID affects everyone differently. It's kind of the same exact way when it comes to concussions. You know, you see someone take a shot and then you see someone else take the same shot and then they're jacked up for life. I've had wrestling teammates who clash of heads from headbutts and they've never been able to wrestle ever again. No matter what protective gear they wore in the head for extra protection, they just felt disoriented. They always felt vertigo and they just could never compete again. You know, so I just, you know, knock on wood, man, that's not going to be me. I'm mentally strong enough to think that I will get past this. CBD, all that good stuff that I'm taking, all the brain food that they give me, the omega-3s. I'm trying to do everything that I can to protect myself and keep some longevity. But we got to take the baseline test. And with concussions, only the person knows when they feel, I think, personally, from my experience, only you know when you can feel ready. The same way when I had the vertigo with sparring with Zabit, I didn't know when I was going to be able to train again until I felt that vertigo stop for like 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, I think I'm in the clear. I think it's okay for me to get back into the gym and really start working out again. And same thing with this, I just want to make sure that I'm monitoring it. I got to be honest. If I'm being an idiot and saying, yeah, telling everyone, no, I'm fine. When really, as soon as I lay my head down, I'm spinning uncontrollably. I'm not helping myself out
Are
by
you
doing
having
it.
that right now?
Sorry.
Are you having that right now? Are you still
No,
having?
no, which is a good thing, just a little bit of pressure I was feeling before. And I just hope it doesn't get worse. This is where it's at, and it just gets better with each day.
Last question for you, man. And it kind of goes back to that weird scenario where it's like, your loved ones are wanting to celebrate something and other people are wanting to say it's like the worst thing that ever happened.
It's so weird.
When you look back on that night, March 6th, down the line, and I'm sure that this will take time for you to know what the answer is, but do you think is it like the best night of your career? Is it the worst night of your career? Is it somewhere in the middle? Like it's something that you worked so hard to get to, and you left with a belt around your waist, but it wasn't like legitimized in the way a lot of people would say, but also you didn't lose. So was it the best night, the worst night? How do you feel about your first UFC title fight?
I mean, the night was amazing in terms of everything beforehand. It was a special moment. I felt like crap in the back room, but I try to poker face it and just show that mentally. I've always been like that though. I try not to like, especially with Ray. He's such a positive dude. Like if you tell him like you're not feeling good, and he's like, "I'm gonna ask you again, and this time I need you to like give me a much better answer." Like that's Ray, and I love it. But sometimes I'm just so honest all the time. I'm just like, I mean, I feel like, but we're gonna get after it. That's just how I am. And everything was great in terms of the back room, walking in, the lights, the focus, the attention. It felt like I've been there before, and I felt like I was ready for the moment. Um, it didn't feel like it didn't feel too much. I just wish my body was able to do what it was doing all training camp long, which was that first round. And I should have been able to do that for 5 rounds because I did it in training and with 3 different bodies. So for me, it's just a mind because how do you go from that same output in training, like with monsters, guys at 45, 55, and getting through the rounds, doing great, and a guy like Marab who doesn't ever get tired and being able to have a lot of success and then have a performance like that where you make so many sloppy mistakes that just look rudimentary. But like I said, going back to that, it was fun to experience the whole thing, and it was everything I thought it was going to be. And envisioning me standing in front of Yana, I just remember seeing that. And when they said, "Let's ready to fight," I was going to be the one to go forward and get the action going, and that's what I did. And I was like, "Yo, I feel like I'm going to win this fight," and just started making mistake after mistake. And I was like, "Who's throwing all these banana pills in this octagon? I keep slipping everywhere." And whatever, it is what it is. I will remember that night for multiple reasons. And I'm gonna always appreciate my friends and family for traveling, spending their hard-earned money and taking time off from work to come see me, chase a dream to make a dream a reality. That's something special. And only people who chase their dreams are gonna ever understand what that feels like because uh, you know the hard work and the sacrifice that goes into it. And when you have people that believe in you, it's an amazing feeling, man. You really do feel the love. And unfortunately, it wasn't the way I wanted. I did leave with a win. I don't know if I deserve a win. I thought it was going to be a no contest, and whatever. This is the way it worked out. And to me, it's just I just got to validate it now. I should have been fighting for the belt with Corey Sandhagen, so I technically, ironically, should have maybe been the champ to begin with. But whatever, we're neither here or there. I just need to have the rematch, shut up all those Russian trolls, and prove to the world and to myself that I really can be number one in the world.
Appreciate it, man. I'm sure it's a little bit of a weird one talking through, but you've been very gracious with the time. Thanks a lot. Heal up, and we'll be looking forward to what's next for you, Aljamain.
Thank you. And that's Skorova to my Russian fans. Marozhnaya. I'm gonna have a lot of ice cream. Thank you guys for all the support.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.